Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, welcome to be my guest. This is Jan Lewis. Today we have the owner of Eddy's Flooring America in Worcester, Eddy Stein. And Eddy has a lot of history to tell us about his business. That's what we're going to try to feature more of the great businesses that have come up from right from basically scratch, right, Eddy?
Yeah.
All the way up. History of the business. Eddy, when did you start the business?
I started the business in February of 1956. I had lived in Milford for most of my life. I was courting a gal from Worcester. I was drafted in the Army. I spent 2 years in the Army, and we got married actually a year before I got out of the service. And we lived in Worcester with her parents at the time, and then we moved to Spencer on Stiles Reservoir, which we were there 50 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. And then we sort of sized down and went to Webster Lake, and we had a home in Florida. And that's really
When did you start Eddy's Flooring? Did it
Eddy's
start with that
Flooring
name? Did you start with that?
I know it was Eddy's Furniture and Appliances.
And what street were you on?
I was at Kelly Square.
Oh, God help us. I can't drive through that. Was it that bad back then?
It was before 290.
Oh, what is it about that thing? It's like suicide.
Well, you think it's bad now. It was worse before 290.
It was worse?
Because everything came through Kelly Square.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. There was the highway wherever you went to Auburn, everywhere.
Where were you in the square?
I was, there is a gas station there now, Speedway gas station. Actually, it's about, next door to Table Talk, who is still there.
Yeah.
And they've expanded. And it was, I was there about 3 or 4 years. It got too small for me, so I moved to Park Avenue, which was a bad mistake. But
Park Avenue was not good, huh?
you know what happened was, there was a building there that I had rented temporarily for a sale. We got a tremendous sale there. I had bought out a store. So I took a lease, and I thought I was a smart guy. I took a 1-year lease with a 5-year option,
Oh, boy.
figuring that I could get out if I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But by the time I got in and got settled, it was 6 months had gone by. And my heating bill was like $20,000.
$20,000?
At that day, yeah, in those days. So I couldn't pick up the lease, but I had to give them notice. So by the time I got settled, it was really a problem to find another
Now you got to
place.
move everything
Got to
again.
move everything.
And it's furniture now, just not just carpet, it's
This was,
furniture.
yeah, right. It was mostly furniture and appliances and carpet.
Yeah.
When I came out of the Army, which was 1955, I went to work for a company called Cut Rate Floor Covering, which I eventually bought out many years later. But going back a little before that, when I was 13 or 14 years old, I was born in Milford and went through Milford High School, graduated in 1950. But before I could drive, I used to take the bus at 2 o'clock after school to Framingham, and I worked for my brother-in-law, and I'd get home like 9 o'clock at night. And I did that right through high school. And eventually, after I graduated, I worked for him. And then I was drafted in the Army. Mm-hmm. And while I was in the Army, the store closed. So when I came out, I went looking for a job, and Worcester was where my wife was. So I worked for Cut Rate Floor Covering for about 7 months.
Did you enjoy that? I'm trying to tie in the interest here. How you got interested in the carpets? Was it when you worked?
Well, when I worked in Framingham, we did carpet too.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but comparatively speaking. But that was the only job that was really available at the time.
Sure.
And I had planned on opening my own business. The owner of Cut Rate Floor Covering was a real fine gentleman.
Yeah.
And coming out, I was, 22, 23 years old, and you don't know what you really know. You're away from the business for 2 years.
Yeah.
I was a seasoned veteran, really.
Yeah.
So when I went to work for $50 a week.
Can you imagine $50 a week?
And I'll tell you, after 1 week, he gave me a $10 raise, and after the second week, he gave me another $10 raise, because I knew,
Yeah.
I knew the business.
Yeah. You were unusual compared to the other dudes. you
Yeah,
know,
well, anybody else at that age didn't have that kind of experience.
Right.
And then I opened my own store, and the first year was the easiest.
Now, when you opened that store, how did you get all the furniture in? Or was that
Well,
the carpeting?
It was mostly furniture and appliance. I just knew the people from being in the business.
Yeah.
And
Did they just give you things? Did they donate?
No, they don't donate anything. They gave you a little credit,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was fortunate. And my business kept doing well, but the carpet, I was doing better and better in carpet compared with the furniture.
Carpet was better.
Mainly carpet, not even hard goods, or what we call the vinyls and the
Yeah.
heavies, which was the experience I got there was at Cut Rate.
Right.
And when we had to move from Kelly Square to Park Avenue because I had water in the cellar and I couldn't do it. Anyway, I ended up on Main Street for about 3 or 4 years, and then I bought the building up on Stafford Street,
Uh-huh.
which it was a market before that. And we kept getting better and better in carpeting, and then when I took over Cut Rate Floor Covering, I bought them out. They were in trouble. And I bought them out and learned the hard goods. Now, the carpet business 30, 40 years ago was 80% of the floor covering business. Today, it's about 40% with laminates, hardwood, ceramic, eating up the remainder. And so
Do you have those there too, Eddie, besides carpeting?
right now, we are probably the most complete floor covering store in New England.
So you cover a lot of
We
things.
do stair treads, we do everything in floor covering, and not everybody does that.
Yeah.
Because the hard goods such as tile and laminate and things like that, they're much harder to install, they're much more headaches, preparation for your floor. And then I decided that I could do better with the same product. If you bought a 12 by 20 carpet, for example, and the same carpet from store A to us, for example, if it's measured properly, it's prepared properly, you can do a better job than the next guy.
Definitely. So you were precise.
All the
You knew
words.
exactly what you were doing.
Yes, and what we did, after a while, we joined Flooring America. They're a buying group, and they're wonderful from many, many standpoints. Number one, education of product with your salespeople. Number two, the latest products that come out, they get first crack at them.
When did you become Eddie's Flooring America?
Approximately 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Does it seem that long or just like short?
Well, no.
About 20. Yeah.
It seems like I've been at Flooring America for a long time. Flooring America is a buying group. We're still independent. We technically have to buy about 70% under their umbrella, which means like Shaw Industries, Mohawk, and all those that are tied into Flooring America, we get rebates on that. But the big thing is the education. The other thing is the price, because there's in the whole scenario, CC Global is the parent company of Flooring America, Carpet One, and a few others. So we're talking about 1,500 stores. So when you have the buying power of 1,500 stores, you're competing with the Home Depots and the Lowe's and the big box stores. The advantage we have is the installation is a major problem. Installers, first of all, they're not coming out. There very, very few people are going into that business.
I've heard a lot of interesting things when a big box store, not all of them, but one or two big box stores sends a couple people out to install it. It hasn't been a happily ever after.
They use the same type of installers that we do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say two names, which is the biggest, Home Depot and Lowe's, for example, from the floor covering standpoint. They're good people.
Yeah.
But they can't control the installer. And the other thing is that they don't control the salespeople. Guy's selling lawnmowers today, he's selling apples tomorrow, whatever the store, so he's in different places. So they're not as knowledgeable. Some are.
Yeah.
Some aren't.
But you're able to keep track of your flooring people.
We have installed, picks up $1,000 on Friday, and Tuesday he's looking for a loan.
Oh, how can that be?
And Tuesday he gets the loan from us. He can't go to Home Depot and get that loan.
Wow.
So we do anything and everything. We give them cars, we give them help, we do anything we can. And they average about $40 an hour.
It's not bad.
No overhead.
No.
So they do very, very well if they work.
Do you notice, it must be like coming up through the years, 60 years in the business, seeing it from the beginning, you already had a leg up because you already had a great background.
Yeah.
So you had a leg up. But watching it blossom and then the way the cultures change.
Oh, it's completely different today. Today, the problems are the internet. We have people that are shopping us using our time, our salespeople's time, even sometimes our measurement time, and then go on the internet and buy it.
I like to be in person and buy it,
Well, fortunately, installations are a major concern, so not as many people would do that.
Yeah.
The lumber, the hardwood, they buy the ceramic tile. We've lost, although our lumber, our wood business is extremely strong compared to the ceramic tile.
How about granite? The granite countertops?
We don't get into much granite at all.
Yeah.
Granite in the floors are not
good.
Not that, there's so many good products. And kitchen cabinets and things like that with granite is.
I know that I watched some of those shows on HDTV, and I don't know, it looks awfully cold to me. Some people have had all their floors of their house tiled.
I had a home in Florida. I recently just sold it. I put wood in my floors.
Yeah.
Ceramic tile is like walking on concrete.
And it's cold, isn't it?
It's cold. It chips. The grout is a problem. So we don't recommend too much for the kitchens. Some people just like it.
Eddie, where is your store located? Let everybody know how to reach you and where your store is.
We're in the corner of James and Stafford Street. Stafford Street at Webster Square, Route 9 goes toward Amherst. And we're in that square. One of the first malls was on Stafford Street, between Stafford and Maine. And at one time, Zayre's, for example, that was the best 6-day store in their whole organization.
That goes way back.
Goes way
back.
Well, I go way back.
So your address is what street now?
I just is 3 James Street, but it's really not people. Well, we made James Street famous, but not many people know James Street. It's Stafford Street, which is a main drag.
Main drag.
Yeah, it's Connor, James, and Stafford.
Good signing, right? You could see where.
Oh yeah,
great sign.
we have about 12,000 square feet of showroom, and then we have about 6,000 square feet of warehouse, and we use some of the warehouse as showroom.
How can they reach you if they wanted to ask you, Eddie, a question, or one of your staff? How would they reach you?
Our people are terrific on the telephone. Our phone number, 508-791-0987, is the best way. But we have internet. We have
Sure. Get the whole. When people come in, Eddie, are they looking for wall to wall so much? I don't see that so much anymore.
Oh yeah.
They are.
Well, yeah. Again, carpet is not as big as wood and ceramic, and luxury vinyl tile is one of the biggest things today. But when they come into us, first of all, we have no high pressure at all. My people are very, very good. We will go out and estimate a job with no down payment, with no obligation to a customer. If you come into our store and want a measurement tomorrow, you will almost definitely get it. It may take 2 days, but as a rule, that very next day. My son Howard, who's been with me all his life, and myself go out and estimate. So it's one of us. That goes
So
out.
one of you actually go.
Yeah, I'm still on the road. I 6-7 calls a day.
And you like it. You can tell you like it.
I enjoy it. I'll tell you why I enjoy it. I feel that I can do a better job than the next guy that's out there estimating.
Yeah.
By the right numbers, not adding, by the right seams, and the right preparation.
Yeah.
So when you feel you can do a better job, the competition, like Home Depot and Lowe's, are not cheap,
No, they're not.
especially if it has to be installed. So when you come in my store, customer needs a measurement, they get that measurement almost immediately. And again, no obligation, no charge, no deposits. They can take samples out. In fact, we almost want them to see the product in their house.
So they can borrow the samples from
Oh
you.
yeah, yeah.
Do any of them walk away and not come back?
Oh, they do. Plenty of them do. I recall, but
Yeah.
it's the only way to, in my opinion, the only way to sell the confidence. Usually, I can say this: we're usually low. We're never high, unless it fell off a truck. I can't compete with that. Again, usually low, never high, and always at least competitive.
Yeah. And you've got the touch that, I hate to say it, but that's why one reason we're trying to get it known out there about what businesses like yours that started many, many years
yeah?
ago, and then the continuing with the values for the customer.
Well, we buy right to begin with, and I always have a lot of specials that I buy.
Yeah.
We have some of the manufacturers or the distributors that know in August we run a big sale, tent sale. They sort of save goods for us, and then when they're unloading, we buy that really at some good prices, and we pass that on to the consumer.
We're talking with Eddy Stein, and Eddy is the owner and founder of Eddy's Flooring America. And we're talking about the history of his business and what they offer to people. Flooring, it's a big deal now. Everybody seems to want hardwoods. Do you have to go through that a lot during the day?
Oh yeah, we do a big job with hardwood. It surprises me a little, but I think some of that is because our Our displays are terrific.
Yeah.
We have all up to date.
Who do you have a special designer who comes in and sets up your displays?
No.
You do it yourself?
Well, we do it ourselves, but Flooring America sort of dictates a little of what, I would say dictate. They have 2 shows a year.
Yeah.
Certain products you have to buy the displays on.
Yeah.
Some you don't have to. But when you're up to date and you get the latest thing, now we sometimes, Flooring America, 2 things they do. One, they sometimes get a product that's hot that we get it 6 months ahead of anybody else.
Ooh, like what? Give me an example.
Like a particular carpet, waterproof carpet.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
neat.
waterproof carpet.
Yeah.
So we got that 6 months before anybody else gets it.
Yeah. Anybody, even the big box people.
Yeah, even the big box stores.
How do they manage? How does Flooring America manage to get that so quickly?
They got 1,500 stores.
So you get it.
And number one, we have 1,500 stores. That's one of the displays that they say we have to take. We buy those
Yeah.
displays, don't get them for nothing.
Yeah.
So we buy those. So that's what happens. And the other thing is that when there are price increases, we usually have 2 months before. So the price increases from Shaw, say, they just started, in fact, they're right now.
Yeah.
Shaw, Mohawk, they all went up. And if they went up today, we have 60 days at the old price.
Wow. Do you let the customers know, or no? You do.
Yeah.
You let, okay. So that would be like a sale.
Without putting pressure on.
Yeah, you put like a sale price, right?
Example, yesterday, I had been a job for Worcester Country Club. Beautiful place and beautiful people. And they decided to wait, this was in the spring, they decided to wait till the fall. I got a call yesterday, go ahead. Okay. So I wanted to make sure that because they had dropped off the samples and they had their choices,
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure everything was right. So I went there yesterday when they had called. I went there yesterday to go over everything with them. And it was...
That was it?
And I said to them, if you buy this within 3, 4, 5 days, and the deposit,
Yeah.
I'll keep that price because we're getting price increases. But this is not... That's legitimate.
Yeah. I bet they were
It's not
pleased.
huge.
They were pleased.
It's not huge,
Yeah.
but every dollar
Yeah,
counts.
exactly. Yeah.
So, I'm sitting there, they went ahead and gave me the job to go.
Is it a big one? Lots of
It's-
rooms?
It's the golf area, the lockers and the golf showroom. Very, very fine people. I've done a lot of work.
Is it the imitation grass type of thing, or
Yeah,
not?
well, yeah, but we used that new waterproof, for example.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
That's going in the clubhouse. So instead of being a dirty, not dirty, but a average clubhouse, it's got some class to it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. What other places people watching, if they have a business or whatever, what other places, probably tons of places you've helped out?
We've done a lot of work for the Commerce Bank. We've done a lot of work for the Webster Savings Bank. We've done a lot of work for a fellow by the name of Herb Ingram, who is part of the conglomerate that owns Parkview Towers. They're doing a condo in Millville. They turned the Tupperware factory into condos. We do all the work down there. A lot of our work is recommendation.
Yeah.
We don't go out and solicit. Not that it's beneath us, it's just that...
You don't need to, right?
Well, you do and you don't. You spend a lot of time bidding, and it's 6 months down the road,
Yeah.
and sometimes the last minute they come up and then it takes all your workforce.
Yeah, definitely.
So that becomes a problem to be able to. Right now, it's very difficult in getting installers.
Why is that? They're not being trained?
Not being trained. Yeah, not being trained.
What are we all going to do if we run out of installers?
Well, it's going to be a problem. And I think the average age are like 50.
50?
Yeah, very few young people going into it. I'm not sure why.
I don't either, because you
Problem
know...
is when you train these guys,
Yeah.
they'll sell you down the river to, once they get trained, they'll go somewhere else
Yeah.
for $2 more. They make a lot of money for their
For the training.
yeah. But some of them are really good mechanics.
How about Berber carpet? Is that still as popular?
Still strong.
I like Berber.
They've done a lot of good things about Berber. When Berber first came out, it was only wool,
Yeah.
and the decorators were always recommending it. And today, with some of the fibers, it's just terrific.
Yeah.
So you get some Berber. You can get some Berbers that are higher end, that are a little more. What do I say? They're not just. I'm losing my thought of what it is, but it's not just playroom.
Yeah,
carpet.
it's really high quality.
It's got some class to it. It's got some nice. There's some nice things.
I like the way they look. Eddie, we've got about 2 minutes left. Again, where are you located? How can people reach you?
We're definitely you can. It's Webster Square, 1 mile up on Stafford Street, and everybody knows, or it's easy to get to Webster Square. Webster Square is Route 9 and 12 comes together.
I know where it is.
And our phone, you can call us, and we'll give you directions. Our hours are terrific. We're 8 to 5 Monday and Tuesday. We're 8 to 8 Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're 8 to 5 on Saturday, and we're 12 to 5 on Sunday. So there are a lot of hours, and by appointment, we'll do anything.
And Eddie will come with maybe with your son, whatever?
We split up. He don't need the two of us.
No.
He goes one way, I go the other. Howard is excellent. Howard knows product a lot better than I do, and he does a great job. He's been with me since he was a baby.
You're lucky.
Yes,
You're lucky.
yeah,
You're lucky. We've been talking with Eddie
hard
Stein.
worker.
Eddie Stein, he's the owner and founder of Eddie's Flooring America over in Worcester. We've been talking about the history of his business. We're talking 60 years in the business. It's
62.
Still going, 62, going strong. You're still going out there providing one-on-one customer service.
I still enjoy the business except for cash flow.
Yeah, it could be a little bit different.
You know, I started with nothing,
And you just came right up to the
four kids through college.
You're not gonna retire, right?
I will eventually.
Yeah.
I'd like to slow it down a little. I'm working too many hours.
But you like it.
I still enjoy it. And
Yeah.
my wife, my second wife, God bless her, my first wife passed away. She's 40, we were married 47 years. Now my new wife, 15 years.
Yeah.
And she's a paralegal and she understands business.
She knows.
And if I'm a little late, she
Yeah.
just smiles as long as you give her a call.
Yeah.
I'm the luckiest guy in the world to have
Eddie, thank you
two wonderful wives.
So much for being with us.
Well, it was
This
my
has been
pleasure.
great. Keep going. We're strong with that.
We'll go strong. Call us. You will tell you, remember, we're never high. We're usually low, but we're always competitive.
There you go. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Thank
I'll be my
you.
guest.